Our Vandals Weekly is proudly presented by Alpine Touch. You need a good gift for your relatives for the holidays? Alpine Touch is Montana made, but you can get it all over the Northwest, including in Idaho. They carry it at Costco and various other retail locations around the state of Idaho. That's an awesome gift for your family and friends. They have a new Big Sky Bird blend for your turkey or your prime rib all holiday season long. They also have delicious brand new jerky from Alpine Touch. Great stocking stuffer. Visit alpinetouch.com. Check out their assortment of seasonings, including the Cold Smoke Rub. I know Jason Eck loves himself some Cold Smoke beer, and this is a rendition of that in collaboration with the Kettle House Brewing Company. The best rub for anything pork, I almost guarantee it. Alpine Touch makes the best gifts for the holidays and stocking stuffers as well, so get yours today. You can get it shipped directly to you by ordering online at alpinetouch.com, or you can find it at various retail locations across the state of Idaho, across the state of Montana, and all across the Northwest. Alpine Touch, Montana's special spice. Vandals Weekly back for another week in the University of Idaho, coming off of their first victory of the season. They had a close call in Pullman week one, but had a nice 37-30 victory over St. Thomas this last week. And Idaho sophomore receiver Tony Harste, our guest here for our player portion of Vandals Weekly. Tony, thanks for being here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a great day. Got another week coming up. Utah Tech on the schedule.
Week one, such a close call. I know you guys thought you should have had that one, and for a lot of reasons, you probably should have. But what did it feel like to bounce back though and get a win and especially do it on your home field?
It was great. I love the Kibby Dome, great environment. Like you said, that first week, it was right there. Could have had it, but I think the overall theme of these last 2 weeks is we still got some stuff to clean up, and that's the exciting part. Is we could, as the coach has been echoing, like we got the win this last week, but we want more, right? Like that game, I think we could have also in the second game could have won that game. There were some opportunities to pull away from that game a little sooner. But like you said, what a great opportunity to learn these lessons with the win and not a loss. So grateful for that.
You guys were really efficient in the pass game. Joshua Wood, 20 of 25 for 281 yards, 3 touchdowns. You yourself caught, I think, 5 passes, 92 yards, scored your first touchdown of the year. So, what was going well in the pass game? How are you guys able to operate with such efficiency and such accuracy?
That was a big emphasis for us going into that game because we didn't throw the ball too much in that first game, and the second game we're like, we want to make this known that we have air attack, and so it makes it easy when you got our big boys up front doing they're killing it. Like you couldn't ask for a better O line. I'm truly grateful for that. And then you got a quarterback who can extend the play at any point. I think the touchdown I caught, he was waiting in the pocket. He got a little bit out the pocket and then took a hit while he was throwing it. So it makes my job really. I don't even got to do much if I got a great old line and a quarterback that can extend plays. And so none of that. I can't even take credit for that stat line or any of that. First of all, the Lord woke me up that day, to have give me breath in my lungs and allowed my legs to work. But it makes it pretty easy when you got a quarterback that can make plays and O lineman that can hold up for him.
Yeah, tell me more about the offensive line because sometimes I feel like football fans live in a fantasy football world, and the quarterbacks, and the receivers are certainly super important. But I thought when following your guys' off season and
Mhm.
Coach Eck leaves, and some guys leave, but some guys decide to stay. But I thought Nate has a party and Leighton Vining and some of those veteran guys coming back on the offensive line. I thought that was really pivotal for you guys. So how much does having a veteran offensive line that can sort of set the tone for your offense just influence the way you guys operate?
It helps so much, especially and even the guys now that are playing with them have been here, and they were the guys that were backups last year and getting play time. Like Chuck, he started the first 2 games and then had that knee injury. So it's great to have him back this year. And then we have Leon, guys like Tyler Skinner, Keegan Henson, some great O linemen. We got some new additions like Howard. But yeah, we have guys that have had game time experience, and then like you said, we have the 2 vets where we got Leighton and Nate. And I think it makes it so much easier for the younger guys to step into those bigger roles when you have leaders like that on the O line. Like Leighton, I'm telling you, he's one of the smartest guys I know. He knows almost everything about every front, every stunt, and it makes it so much easier for other guys to rally around those guys when they have experience and they know what to ID and what they're getting up front. So, yeah.
Joshua Wood has joined us already so far this season, but I've been very impressed with him through two games. So I think people can see the talent pretty apparently. I mean, he's obviously, he watched the Gatorade Player of the Year when he's in high school. I think everybody knew that he's was going to bring a great skill set, but it seems like his ability to rise to be a leader of the offense has been so pivotal for you guys. How has he been able to do that in your mind? What has made him sort of one of the captains on the offensive side of the ball?
I think he's very well spoken. He's outspoken as well with that. And so I think in pivotal moments, like you said, when it's we're only up a touchdown and he puts the dagger and he takes a read option 60 yards down the field and scores. I think it's in those moments before we even get in the huddle, like to start that drive where he's telling it's go time, right? And even first play we had a turnover, right? But then you can see the composure and poise he had continuing the game and balling out, right? And so it's like I think having those team leaders that can have composure and poise in these big moments where things might not always go our way, like football, right? Not everything goes your way, right? It's how we respond. I think his response just shows why he is such a great leader on our team because in those big moments, he can respond regardless of what happens.
Tony Harste joining us here on the Vandals Weekly Big Sky Breakdown podcast series. He's a sophomore wide receiver for the Idaho Vandals, coming off a 37-30 win over St. Thomas. How about the coaching transition? You went there to play for the last staff, but you just decided to stay. So, what kept you there, and how has it gone just from your position group and your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Ford recruited me. Him and Linehan both recruited me out of high school, and so
That makes
when
it easy, right?
yeah,
You know those guys well.
exactly, right? And then what made it even better was Linehan was so when Ford got hired, I was like, okay, for sure, I'm staying. I love Ford. He's a great coach, and I knew him while I was even in high school before I even got to Idaho. So I was like, perfect. And I know this guy. I know he's a great coach. And then what was even better, he hired Linehan, who was my receivers coach for my freshman year as an OC. And so, I mean, that's a great connection to have, and we have a good bond, and we're always joking around with each other. So. I love him, and I know he knows ball because he was teaching me my whole freshman year at the receiver position. And so, I mean, for at least for me as a receiver, that was probably the best case scenario I could have gotten. So there was no reason to leave when you have a head coach that you know and have a relationship with already, and then your OC was your coach the last year. So I mean, it was just it boiled down. It was too perfectly. I had like all glory to the Lord for sure for how that went down. But yeah.
Linehan seems like such a bright young offensive coach. I remember covering him when he was a player, and he was an awesome player.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's in his blood. I mean, Scott Linehan
Yeah.
was, in the NFL forever as an offensive coach. So, what sort of specific things, though, do you think reflects in your guys' offense when it comes to just Coach Linehan's creativity and just the stuff he puts together for you guys?
Like I said, he's a quarterback, right? He loves to throw the ball. So I think we got great concepts in. And one thing I do like that he's starting to implement is like with certain players, like he'll know how to dial up certain plays or his sequencing and to get certain players the ball. Like we might run something different that looks the same as something else, but it's going to a different player, and then it's really setting up another player on the next play on a later drive. And so I think his sequencing is pretty good. And he helps get his players kind of into a rhythm and a role. So I think he does a great job with that. And then as a whole, once a couple guys get going, then you start to see and whole offense just drive after drive, moving the ball down the field. So I really like how he does that.
What sort of improvements did you see between week one and week two, just in terms of just operational stuff or detail oriented stuff?
I think definitely offense. We were moving the ball. We had a great run game, and I think that was seen in that first game. Really, our defense and the run was what's propelling us to that game. And the second game, our runs didn't really like you saw it, our run game was still going, right? And it was good. I feel like every time Turb was in the game, we got 10 yards on the carry, Elijah Cummings. And so that was still going, but then we were able to open up the pass game. And so I think from that first game to second game, I think it really helped to have both assets of running and passing the ball. But yeah, I think still cleaning up discipline from flags, but I think from the first game to the second game, losing those two personal fouls in that first game really hurt us. And so in the second game, for Josh to have all that composure and not let that stuff affect him, I think was huge for us as a whole team and him as a player. So yeah.
Utah Tech coming to Moscow this weekend, and they've been an interesting litmus test these last couple of years because they basically played an entire Big Sky non-conference schedule, right? Like
Yeah.
get to see Utah Tech against like a quarter of the league every year because they just play all these crossovers, and that's been the same so far this year. They've been in it with UC Davis. They lost 31-24. They've been in it with Northern Arizona, lost 38-31 last week in Flagstaff, and now they come to the Kibby Dome. So just your early thoughts on the Trailblazers coming to town, a team that will actually be in the conference a year from now, but a nice non-conference test for you guys on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't think their record reflects truly how good they are. They're a good football team, and I think you see with going losing by a touchdown to both UC Davis and what was the NAU last week as well. And so, I mean, those are both top Big Sky teams, and so you can see that this is a good football team. And as we were in meetings, Coach Ford is telling us about their coach and how he was a longtime DC at Stanford, and he was there for some really good years at Stanford for them, and then now he was there last year. They weren't too good, but you can kind of see some of his philosophies and how he coaches started to take into effect because I feel like they're right there. They're on the cusp because they've been in two really close games. But so I think it'll be a great challenge for us to just really put together a full game with minimal penalties and for offense and defense. Our defense balled out the first week. Our offense played really well the second week, and I think this third week it's a great opportunity for us to play a great team and to marry all three of those together with discipline, offense, and defense all together.
Well, last thing for you then. The 50th anniversary celebration of the Kibby Dome is on Saturday. And this is the 50th anniversary all year long. And
Yeah,
one of the most iconic venues, certainly in the Big Sky, but probably in the FCS, just because it's just so unique. It's just like nowhere else in
yeah.
FCS football. So, I mean, how much do you guys like celebrating this cool place that you get to spend so much time?
I love the Kibby Dome. It was definitely a selling point when I was in high school to come here. And then you see, like you said, we're revealing the yellow jerseys this week. It's going to be sick to wear those. And then I know a lot of alums are coming down, especially from the teams that we're wearing the retro jerseys from. And so that'd be really cool to just see past Vandals and Vandals now, right, in our current age, all come together, all for one greater purpose, right, for Vandal football. And so I think it's really cool, especially to have a place, like you said, that's so iconic across all of college football, the Kibby Dome. And so just grateful and blessed to play here. It's always sunny and 75 degrees, right? You never have to worry about the rain. And so, I mean, what better place to play, especially as a receiver, catching the ball. And so I love that. I can't complain.
Tony Harste here on Vandals Weekly. Thomas Ford coming up here in just a little while. But Tony, thanks for being here, man. And we appreciate it. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Are you ready to tackle your next real estate adventure? Whether you're hunting for your first home or diving into big league land acquisitions, Array Real Estate is in your corner. At Array Real Estate, they are not just a real estate team, they are your agents for life. Array Real Estate's mission? To help you crush your real estate goals one deal at a time. Array Real Estate's roots run deep in the heart of the Pacific Northwest as proud alumni of the University of Idaho. With offices in Coeur d'Alene and Seattle, the team is here to give you a legendary real estate experience. Your success isn't just a goal, it's their top priority. Everything from cozy homes to land development to commercial spaces, Array Real Estate has you covered. They are all about making your real estate dreams come true with a dash of Vandal pride. Ready to make a move? Visit ArrayRealEstate.com and join the fun on Instagram at ArrayRE. Let Array Real Estate turn your dreams into wins. Array Real Estate, your go-to team for all things real estate and proud sponsors of Vandals Weekly. Array Real Estate will make real estate magic with you. Vandals Weekly back for another week, and we must start with a hearty congratulations to Thomas Ford Jr., the head coach of the Idaho Vandals. He gets his first win at the University of Idaho this last week, as a head coach, at least. Been a part of plenty of wins there at Idaho before. But, Coach, congratulations. You got one in the win column after a 37-30 effort over St. Thomas. Must feel good for you as a head coach to get your first head coaching victory.
No question, man. Getting that monkey off the back early in the season is huge. Really hard to get to 3, 4, 5 wins without getting one. So we're super excited that we were able to get the job done on Saturday.
What will you remember just about the win as a whole?
How good St. Thomas was. That's a good football team, man.
Yeah.
Coach Caruso, I think, is doing a great job there. Obviously, making that transition fully now from Division III to FCS, and that's probably what I'll remember the most is just winning against a really quality opponent.
That athletic department, just as a whole, man, they made so much progress. I mean, I know they played a couple Big Sky teams in basketball
Yep.
when they were just in the early part of the transition, and then this last year, everybody's like, we don't want to play those guys anymore.
Yeah, no one wants to play them now. Exactly. I see why.
Totally, man. And you kind of had to see that just with where they're at, in a big city in Minneapolis, or I guess right outside of Minneapolis. And I just think that's a fascinating university to me. I think that they're going to make some noise in sort of the mid-tier college sports divisions for a long time. So I thought they were very good too, watching your game back.
No question. No question. Very, very, very good football team. A lot of credit to those guys for sure. I think they're going to do really well when they hit their league schedule.
But you got the passing game going pretty well. We just talked to Tony Harste, what a great young man he is, and he was giving us a little bit of his view of it. But for you, what caused just such great efficiency in the pass game? Joshua Wood was 20 of 25 for almost 300 yards, threw three touchdowns. So what went well just in the pass game for Idaho on Saturday?
I think we got Josh into a rhythm early. We try to make some layups, so to speak, right? Getting him some quick game going, get him some easy completions, things that are like very pre-snap oriented. Hey, where's the ball going to go? Based off your pre-snap read, getting it out of his hands quickly as well. And then he always does a great job with his legs. And I think when we had kind of that scramble play and he hits Emerson Cortez for like a 40-yard gain, I really think that's the point where he really felt like the game slowed down and he was seeing it really, really well. But I think the key to it all is just getting him some concepts that he's familiar with and getting him really comfortable early.
Do you see a big step from him, game one to game two?
Yeah, huge step for Joshua. I think what you really saw was the poise that we've seen since he's gotten here. I think he got a little emotional in week one, and you really saw him calm down. And when he plays like the guy I know he is, even keeled. Hey, good plays, great. Bad plays, great. Got to keep playing. I think that's what we're going to get when he's calm and collected. And I like what I saw. I definitely think especially our Vandal fans, really got a chance to see the guy we brought in and why we brought him in because we think he's a true dual threat guy. Can really do it all, but especially throwing the ball down the field. You really got a chance to see him do that on Saturday.
Tony Harste had almost 100 yards receiving. He got his first touchdown of the year. His story is a great one too, though. I mean, I asked him. I said, just tell me about your decision to stay. You spent 1 year under the last coaching staff, but then this one, and he says, hey, Coach Ford and Coach Linehan were the guys that recruited me. So who else am I going to go play for, right? So it seems like you guys have a great connection, and it seems like he's turning into a pretty good player for you at a young age.
Yeah, he's honestly Tony's doing everything I thought he would do. I saw Tony when he was a sophomore. He was working with my brother at FSP, and Tracy had told me a lot about Tony. Hey man, this guy's really sudden. He's really quick. He's like, you're not gonna be blown away by how he looks off the hoof. He kind of looks like an accountant. They were calling him the accountant for years there in the FSP program because he just looked like an accountant, right? But he'd get in there and slice you up. But I saw that early in his career as a high school kid. I said, you know what, this guy's gonna be an all conference Big Sky type kid. And so we started recruiting him then and built a great relationship with him and his mom. And I think it paid dividends because when the coaching change happened, like he said, I mean, he's gonna go play for some coaches he knows. Well, he doesn't know anybody better than myself and Coach Linehan, the two guys that really had a strong hold on getting him to Idaho.
How about a guy just with just sort of a pleasant disposition like that? I mean, he's just he seems like just a cheerful guy. He seems like he just a guy that just would make you happy just being around. How much does that just add to your locker room?
Oh, I think it's huge. He's a guy that wants to get into coaching when he's done. So he's one of those guys that kind of believes everything you say, right? We're telling him how hard, work hard and, do things right on and off the field. And he really takes to that. And I think what you saw in that interview is just the kind of guys we want here. And Tony's certainly like that, where he's, again, very focused. He's got his priorities in line and really wants to do the best he can, not just for himself, but really for his teammates and for the program.
Defensively against St. Thomas, what'd you like? What do you want to see improve this week?
What I liked is the guys kept fighting. I thought we kind of struggled early. I thought they had a great game plan. They did some things with some motions and shifts that really caught us off guard. And I think our guys kept playing though, right? We played through it. We did a good job not panicking and just trying to jump ship from our plan and really got down to business when it mattered the most. What I was really impressed by was the third down play. I thought we played really well, especially when we got them in a third and long. But we definitely got to improve, right? We've got to improve our communication. We've got to trust our calls. There was a couple guys kind of freestyling a little bit in some of our calls, reading out of blitzes when they weren't supposed to do that. So, what I want to see this week is a little bit more focus, a little bit more discipline in our calls, and then continue to build off that fight, right? That fight till the end. Doesn't matter what the score is. Keep on playing really hard. And I think we've done a good job of that the first 2 weeks, but we definitely got to clean up some of those little things moving into week 3.
Are you ready to tackle your next real estate adventure? Whether you're hunting for your first home or diving into big league land acquisitions, Array Real Estate is in your corner. At Array Real Estate, they are not just a real estate team, they are your agents for life. Array Real Estate's mission? To help you crush your real estate goals one deal at a time. Array Real Estate's roots run deep in the heart of the Pacific Northwest as proud alumni of the University of Idaho. With offices in Coeur d'Alene and Seattle, the team is here to give you a legendary real estate experience. Your success isn't just a goal, it's their top priority. Everything from cozy homes to land development to commercial spaces, Array Real Estate has you covered. They are all about making your real estate dreams come true with a dash of Vandal pride. Ready to make a move? Visit ArrayRealEstate.com and join the fun on Instagram at ArrayRE. Let Array Real Estate turn your dreams into wins. Array Real Estate, your go-to team for all things real estate and proud sponsors of Vandals Weekly. Array Real Estate will make real estate magic with you.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
That part of the early season, just the chess match, like you see that always, especially like the first 3-4 weeks where teams have this plan that maybe you didn't expect, or you guys are working on some stuff that you haven't done before. There's so many different nuances that go into it, right? You said trusting the calls, things like that. How much of that do you love just being a coach, and how much of that is sort of a learning process here the first couple of weeks?
Well, I love it as a coach because it gives us an opportunity to really coach big picture things, right? At the end of the day, especially defensively, it doesn't really matter what the call is. Everybody's got to execute that call and be on the same page with that call. And, if that call is not a great call and they get us for a gain, well, then that's a coaching deal, right? That's not a player's deal. And we want really our players to focus on playing. And so I think what it's going to do for us moving forward is just provide that reminder that if we're all on the same page and we all understand the call and we just execute the call, we'll have a chance for success. You will have no chance at success when 2 or 3 guys, they're not quite executing the call. They're doing their own thing. And so I think that's a big lesson that we were able to learn and not have to take a loss because of it.
Utah Tech coming to town this week then, and the Trailblazers have been sort of an interesting like litmus test the last couple of years because they played all these Big Sky teams in the non-conference, right? It's like you get to watch Utah Tech and also get a view of what the Big Sky might kind of be like, and that's been the case this year too. It took UC Davis down to the wire before losing by a touchdown, took NAU to the wire before losing by a touchdown. So what do you think of this Utah Tech Trailblazers team?
I think they're a really well coached team. Coach Anderson was at Stanford for a really long time. And I think he learned a thing or two about just organization and how to run a program. And you can really see that big jump from year 1 to year 2 in their program. I think their guys are a little bit more dialed in their schemes. and they're going to present some challenges. Starting with their offense. They got a two quarterback system. They've kind of started with one guy, finished the game with another. I think they found some success with number five, the left-handed quarterback. And again, they do some really tricky stuff with their tempo. They do some tricky stuff with motions and shifts. And then anytime you have the quarterback run element, that just creates a little bit of stress for your defense, or for our defense at least. And then for our offense, so them defensively, they're very sound. Again, Coach Anderson, DC at Stanford, they're going to do things where they're never going to be in a disadvantage, right? They're going to be gapped out. They do a good job matching personnel, so they'll have bigger people on when you have bigger people. They'll put a nickel in there when you got skinnier bodies in there. So they're really a sound defense that's going to be where they're supposed to be, and they play hard. I thought what really jumped out on tape about them is they get off blocks really, really well. They're a little bit undersized on the edges, but I do think their strength of their defense is on the interior D line. So again, because they get off blocks so well and they're a feisty group, they're definitely going to provide some challenges for us as well.
This is a cool deal that all year long that you guys are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Kibby Dome. But this is the actual game where that's like the theme and the acknowledgement and all that. So you've been there in multiple capacities, but what makes the Kibby Dome special? What do you love about making that your home? Not just on game day, but most of the time.
I think the Kibby Dome is just such a special facility. It's iconic, right? It's one of those facilities that's truly one of a kind. I remember back in the day, like NCAA 2014, that was like the spot. Like my dynasty, we're playing in the Kibby Dome, And so I
Totally,
think,
right?
yeah, man, it's almost like almost a cult following in a lot of ways with the Kibby
Totally.
Dome.
I asked Isaiah King last week if he had any memories of those old NCAA games, and of course, then I realized, well, that was like 12 or 13 years ago, and he was like, he was a little kid. I was like,
Right, he was in grade school, yeah.
yeah, it's like you weren't even old enough to play video games when that was happening. But it's true, there were so many people around the country that would be like, okay, I want to find a mid-major FBS team where I can
Yeah,
build it up, and I want
yeah.
a cool deal. And like the Kibby Dome was like this thing. There was people from coast to coast playing as Idaho. That was such a fun moment in time.
No doubt. And I think that's kind of the celebration this weekend, 50 years of being really an iconic venue. Our fans are phenomenal. We've got really some of the best fans in all of FCS football. And you combine that with the confines of the dome, the acoustics of the dome, which, really elevates that thing no matter how many people are in it. It's a great combination of things. And again, we're really excited to be celebrating the 50th year anniversary. And we got some cool uniforms that we're unveiling. We'll go in with some yellow jerseys that are kind of the throwback jerseys to that 1975 team. And so I think there's a lot of things being honored this weekend. But overall, we're just excited to be able to be a part of it.
Yeah, shout out to Idaho marketing. You guys are doing a great job. The stuff is going all over the place, all over the interwebs, and it's funny because, as you know, there's so many people that work so hard behind the scenes, and so
Yes.
good job by those guys because certainly they're getting the word out about the Idaho Vandals and some of the cool stuff that you guys got going on there in Moscow.
Yeah, no doubt. Our media team is second to none. I think they do just a great job just providing content, giving people insight into our program, which obviously helps with our fan base, but also helps in recruiting. So I'm really thankful for that group.
Well, no doubt, and they do a great job helping us present you Vandals Weekly each week. Thomas Ford here on Vandals Weekly, Coach. We appreciate it. Good luck this week. We'll check in with you next week, but thanks for being here.
Yeah, you bet, Coulter. Always a pleasure, man. V's up.